Alright, let's take a look at the chart action for a couple coins that you guys have requested. So instead of just doing one user request coin, I think I'm going to do multiple coins in one video. Let's see how this goes. Let me know if you guys like it. If you guys want to see some more videos like this, let me know what you guys' requests are. If we get a bunch of the same ones, I'll maybe put them on a list and then go through them. So right now, I'm looking at Phantom. This was one of the ones that someone requested. And so basically what I would be watching is it looks like we have a big huge run up and then we're getting a big correction now. Right now we're on the daily time frame. We just see this 9 moving average right here. We broke below that 9 moving average. I think this is this would be one of the things that I would be really watching is this 9 moving average. This is probably going to come down like this until the price comes back and breaks through this, going back to the upside. I think you can expect this to go down and maybe even expect this 9 moving average to maybe even cause resistance. So until you break it, you're going to be looking at maybe being a little more bearish than not. I would say also we could go to the 4-hour time frame and we also have resistance right here, resistance right here, resistance right here, resistance right here. We basically have this downtrend, something like this. I think until we break this downtrend going to the upside, then I think we were in a downtrend pretty much. And it is something to watch. So I think if we can break that, you might be seeing a big move maybe up to right here or maybe up here to the previous highs. But like I said, in general, I think it looks like it's kind of cruising to the downside a little bit. Let's delete everything and do a Fibonacci retracement real quick to see where you can get some maybe limit orders on if you're still bullish on Phantom and you want a dollar cost average back in. So let's see. We have the bottom right here. We're on the daily time frame and we have the top right here. Do a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top, and that gives me some levels to watch. I like watching the 38% level, the 50% level, and the 61% level. These are sitting around 1.25, 1.04, 83 cents. So let's see how far this comes down before it starts getting support. But what I would say if I was like really into this coin is I would do limit orders on these levels right here. Right now we're sitting at the 38% level. It might not be a bad idea to dollar cost average right here, but it does look like it might be heading down to the next level. So in general, it just depends how you want to play it. But what I would do is maybe limit orders at all these levels, something like that, if I was really bullish on Phantom. Alright, so the next chart we're looking at is HBAR. So what I'm looking at right now is we have resistance right here, and resistance right here, and support right here, and right here. Basically looking at a rising wedge, something like this. We got to break out to the upside right there. The only thing I'm looking at is there's not a lot of green volume on the 4-hour time frame, but if we go into the daily time frame, you can see that there is a lot of volume on the daily candles. But I'm dragging from the top to the bottom of that rising wedge, dragging that to the breakout, and we're looking at a target of approximately 0.5532, somewhere around there. So if we go into the daily time frame like I was talking about, you can see that there is some nice green candles coming in right here. So I am pretty confident about this target, but I'm not holding HBAR or anything like that. And this is also not financial advice, of course, but in general, this does look pretty good. Alright, so let's see if I'm right and we could come up and hit this target. I think in general though, if I was watching this chart, I'd be watching this bottom support line right here. Until we break that uptrend going to the downside, I'm assuming that we're pretty much in an uptrend and we'll be heading up, and we could watch this line for support, something like that. We could drag it out a little bit more. Alright, so the next chart we're going to look at is VeChain. So what I'm looking at on VeChain is we have resistance right here, and resistance right here, something like that. I'm looking at these two mainly. So let's do a downtrend, something like that. Actually, maybe something like that, but I don't know. I guess you could say, maybe argue something like this. It looks like we kind of faked out going to the upside real quick, and then it couldn't hold above it, and now it got in support, which is kind of bearish. So what I'd be kind of looking at, it looks like we're still in this downtrend, something like this. I would also say we have resistance right here, and resistance right here. I'm also kind of looking at maybe some sort of horizontal trend line, maybe going something like this. These are the two trend lines that I would be looking at to break on VeChain before getting bullish again, pretty much. Or I think if we could break this trend line going to the upside, we might see a move, but we might get resistance at this line right here. In general, what I'd be targeting is this previous resistance right here and right here at around 4.1444 once it breaks this downtrend going to the upside. After it breaks this little resistance right there, we can maybe come up and retest this resistance. But like I said, we have to break this trend line first, and then actually we have to break this trend line first, and then we'd have to break this trend line pretty much. So those are the two things that I'd be watching on VeChain. We also have maybe some support maybe coming in like this. Maybe we could hold support on this line and maybe get some bounces and then break through right there, something like that. That's basically what I would be watching on VeChain. Alright, so next chart we're going to look at is Ergo. Alright, so here's what I'm looking at. We have resistance right here, resistance right here. We have support right here and support right here pretty much. Let's do some trend lines. Something like this, maybe a top like that. And then we have a bottom right here and maybe something like this actually. I'm actually looking at this support right here and this support right here. So let's do a trend line, something like that. It looks like we're in a channel pattern going pretty much sideways. It looks pretty slightly volatile. Let's see how big these runs are. From there, that's a good 60%. And then going to the downside, it's also a good 27%. So yeah, it looks like we're in this kind of channel pattern, something like this. Until we break up or down, I don't really have a specific big target, but I guess we could kind of go and look for some trends. So we also have some support right here, and we also have support right here. So we could do an uptrend going something like this. We have resistance right here. We have resistance right here, and we have resistance right here. I'm looking at a downtrend, maybe something like this. So we'll see whether we break up or if we break down to retest these previous trend lines right there. I'd say if we could break out going above, like I say, if we could break this trend line going to the upside, we might be looking at a target from the top to the bottom of this wedge or a channel pattern, something like that. Drag that to the breakout, wherever that might be, if it can break to the upside. And we're looking at maybe a target of around 25.69. If this keeps going, if this uptrend can hold the momentum, and then we could break that trend line right there. That's what I would be pretty much watching on Ergo. Alright, so if we jump over to the total crypto market cap, I like watching this chart to give me a kind of sign of what's kind of the direction we're going, if we're going up or if we're going down in general. So right now, I'm looking at this triangle pattern, something like this. It kind of looks like we're breaking up to the upside. We do have this uptrend going right here, but if we go into like the daily time frame, like we've been talking about, we broke our big uptrend right here going to the downside, and like I've been saying, until we break this 9 moving average right here, let me delete these real quick. Until we delete this blue line, this 9 moving average, if we break that going to the upside, then I think that's the bullish signal, and it looks like we've been testing it. We've been getting resistance on it. Right now we're testing it. Let's see if we could break to the upside. If we go back to the 4-hour time frame, I was looking at this triangle pattern. If we target from the top to the bottom of this triangle and drag that to the breakout, we're looking at a target of approximately 2.27 trillion. Let's see how long we can ride this uptrend going to the upside, something like that, or let's see how long it'll hold support. Alright, if you guys have more requests, leave them in the comments, and if you guys really want me to do your requests, go to my Patreon and sign up for the tier 2. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up button.